Hey, what's up, guys? Dr. Jason Torado. Going for my walk here in the Poconos today. A little buggy out today. So I want to talk to you about hiring an associate. It seems as if this is probably one of the biggest problems that a lot of chiropractors are having nowadays is finding really good associates. And I'll tell you, you know what? I've had 4 associates in my years of practice. And a lot of them, and out of those associates, a lot of them have either retired or they've moved out of state, but nobody's ever quit. And it's because I guess they like working for me. I've always had a really good relationship with working with associates. But I find I've never had a problem hiring an associates, but apparently a lot of people do really have problems hiring associates. And I think it really starts off with why? Why are you hiring an associate? And I think the bottom line is you're supposed to hire an associate to do the things that you cannot do or do not want to do. That's why you should hire an associate. The problem is a lot of people believe that they should hire an associate because the associate is going to help build their practice. And personally, my opinion, I don't think anything could be further from the truth. The reality is that a lot of doctors have the wrong expectations with their associates. And they hire the associates thinking that they're going to go out, they're going to put in a 40-hour work week, they're going to help stimulate referrals inside the office, and then on the weekends they're going to go out, they're going to go do dinner talks, and they're going to go do spinal screenings for them. And usually they'll give them some kind of a percentage of the practice to help incentivize them. And they're going to build their practice. And they figure, hey, instead of hiring 1 associate, maybe I should hire 2, 3, maybe even 4 associates because I'll build up my practice even quicker. And the reality is, that's not how you build a practice. And that's not how you hire an associate. Because if that were the case and the associates were that great, those associates would be out there running their own practice. But the reality is, a lot of the associates that come into your practice, they want to do the minimum of work because more than likely you're paying them the minimum amount of money. And that's why a lot of associate deals never really work well. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to hire an associate and give them a list of things to do. And don't expect much more from that. And the list of things to do are usually the things that you cannot do. And it's very, very simple. And you should pay your associate, ask them what they want, and usually you should pay them a little bit more. Why do you do that? It's very simple. Because this way you don't have to bonus them. You're already going to bonus them from the very, very beginning, because you're going to be expecting great work. So the idea of bonusing is for great work. And so if you expect great work, well, pay them for great work from the very beginning. This way you keep a happy associate. Very, very simple. Now, you may be talking about, well, you know, most associates want bonuses. Bonuses are really simple. I mean, it's standard in practice. I get it. But in reality, bonuses don't work. And they don't work because people are not necessarily motivated by bonuses. You know, bonuses stimulate the pleasure system. And in reality, people, they do get stimulated by pleasure, but people actually are more motivated by pain. Got these bugs all over me here. Dude, just had a huge rainstorm here in the Poconos. Now all the bugs are out. Yeah. So what I mean by being motivated by pain is simply this. So for example, I had an associate not too long ago, right? Maybe 5 years ago. And I decided I was going to pay them a great salary from the very beginning. And I told them, and I paid them more than they actually wanted. And they really couldn't understand it, right? But they're not going to say no. And so I told them, look, our office is doing this. we're collecting, $60,000 a month. I said, if we're going to drop down, well then, if we're going to drop down in the amount of business that we're doing, then, well, I'm going to pay less. Now, I'm not suggesting that everybody do this, but this is something that's very, very effective. And so what you do is you basically are telling that doctor that you're motivating them by pain. So they're getting this extra money, and you're telling them, if we don't continue to do this level of business, that rather than paying you this additional bonus in your salary, we're going to drop it down to that lower number, or better yet, that number that you wanted to make when you first walked inside the office. How do you think that worked out? Well, that worked out great, because that 40 or 50 grand that we wanted to collect inside our office, I had my associate busting their ass all the time so that they would not fall below that amount of, so that our office wouldn't fall below that amount of money, so that they can continue collecting their bonus. So if you see, pain is a bigger motivator than pleasure almost every single time. So think about that. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but you know what? Sometimes the things that are counterintuitive are things that make the most sense. So again, you have to understand that an associate, and I find that a lot of doctors hire associates and they give them the percentage of whatever business they bring in. And last time I checked, that's a partner. And we don't get into practice. We don't go to chiropractic school, to become partners. Unless last partner I had, I married. Okay, that was my wife. But realistically, we don't get into, partners are for dancing. Partners are for marrying. Partners are certainly not for business. Chiropractic, partners, since what I've seen, never usually work out the best way. Partnerships, they usually kind of fold for whatever reason. But I find that partnerships don't work out. So realistically, when you're hiring an associate and you're giving them a percentage, and a lot of times I see doctors, they think, well, I'm going to give my associate 50%. I'm going to give them 60% of whatever they bring in. Like, that might sound attractive to the doctor, and it might sound attractive to the associate when they first get to the office. But then when they try to go out and go market and try to grow their side of the business, it almost never happens. Because again, they don't know how to do that. And if they were going to go market their own practice, if they were going to go out and market for the doctor, well, then they just alone go market for their own practice. So it usually turns out they don't do that. And that's a partnership that eventually just dissolves and doesn't work out. So just to kind of recap, I don't mind. I think associateships are great. I really do. But they're not for partnerships. If you're going to hire an associate, do it for the right intentions. Hire an associate that is going to do the things that you cannot do or don't want to do in your practice. Like, let's say, writing narrative reports for insurance companies, for PI attorneys, for workman's comp, for things like that. Maybe even adjusting if they've got good hands. Pay them not just what they want, but pay them more than what they want, and bonus them from the very beginning. That's the best thing and the best way to be able to keep them happy. And create that stipulation that says, look, this is where we are now. The office is growing. If we drop down, I'm not going to keep giving you that bonus. And trust me, you'll see them busting their ass doing what they need to do. And again, don't overwhelm your associates. Keep their job description very, very simple. A, B, C, and D. And if you do that, you'll end up having a real prosper. You'll get great work out of them. They'll know exactly what's expected of them. They'll be properly motivated. You won't have to look over their shoulder. And you'll end up having a great relationship with your associate. And that's it, guys. I hope this makes sense. Guys, thanks for listening. I can help you out in practice, by all means, shoot me a DM. I love to sit down and chat with you. Please like below, and please share this with our colleagues out there, man, because I hear so many times about failed associateships, and it doesn't really have to be that way. The problem is we've got the wrong expectations of these young guys, even the old guys that we're hiring. I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.